Greetings, everyone. This is Tom McCarthy at Dragbike.com, and we're going to spend some time talking with our buddy Mitch Brown here, who has been very influential in Top Fuel Motorcycle and is working very hard in the class. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Mitch, you've competed on a number of big, powerful bikes before you took on Top Fuel Motorcycle. Why did you choose to go Top Fuel Motorcycle drag racing?
That's kind of catching me off guard. I really don't know how I got into that. The real story, I guess, is like you, I was a huge fan of nitro motorcycles, like I think most motorcycle people are. Mike Bonmeyer is from my hometown of Wichita, Kansas, had a lot of nitro Harleys. I asked him to go to the races with him and kind of crewed for him for a few weeks. And at the Truett and Osborne race, I don't know, early 2000s, he called me one morning. He said, "Bring your leathers." And he had a V-Rod Destroyer, and I thought he was going to want me to ride that V-Rod Destroyer. And it was like 2 seconds slower than my Top Gas bike. And I was like, I don't want to ride that. And I got there, and he goes, "You're riding the Top Fuel bike today." And my heart just jumped out of my chest, and I was like, oh my gosh. And of course, as soon as I hit the throttle, the thing just felt like it was going to turn upside down and throw me off. And I shut it off at about a couple hundred feet, and everybody's like, "Why'd you stop?" And I'm like, "That thing was going to go in the wall and flip over." And they're like, "You were straight as a string." But the hook was set, and every day after that, I wake up and go to bed thinking about nitro.
There you go. Mitch, is there a toughest aspect to go Top Fuel Motorcycle drag racing that you didn't know about before you entered the class? But looking back on it now, what's one of the toughest aspects of getting started in Top Fuel Motorcycle drag racing?
Yeah, another great question, which I should always expect from you, making my brain think here. I think some of it makes sense to me, like the hard work, the money, those are things that, okay, I can understand that. The learning curve, I mean, it's such a small group, and everybody is so helpful, obviously, Sam and Chris and Larry, they're all just so helpful, but it's still not very many resources compared to like car guys. They have so many teams and so many vendors and so many things. So that's probably a little bit of a challenge of it. I think guys like, obviously Yask is here. I mean, what he's doing is helping. He's bringing a lot of different technology, a lot of his own designs. The Europeans are awesome about that. I remember Rose and Ivan in the 90s would do the stories about all of the Top Fuel motorcycles over there. They'd do like a paragraph and a picture of each one on Dragbike.com. And I loved it because like every engine was like a home built on a Bridgeport and a lathe design, but then they all just had like a stock GSXR front end. And that innovation over there is different than it is over here. And I feel like now that we're doing more innovation, hopefully that's going to help the sport grow more. And that's probably my biggest thing that I am trying to overcome and didn't really expect what it would be.
With your breadth of drag bike experience on various drag bikes, what's glaringly different about piloting a Top Fuel motorcycle versus a funny bike or a Pro Mod or any of the other bikes you've piloted? What's different about a Top Fuel bike?
What immediately goes in my mind is it's probably not what people would think. Everybody thinks big power, all this kind of stuff, but I'll tell you, for all the years I raced Super Gas and Super Comp and Top Gas, I was pretty nervous every time I went to the racetrack and made the first run. I've talked to several people about this. I am never nervous on that motorcycle. I understand it could kill me, but I'm not nervous. And I think I've, over time, determined that because these machines are so serious, I'm way more focused on this bike than I ever was on the other bikes. And I think it's partly that you have to have confidence in what you're doing, and you have to have a plan and know exactly what you're doing. George Bryce taught me in 1996 at the drag bike school about how to make that plan and make that memory in your head so it just works automatically. And that's probably the thing that's the most different for me for Top Fuel than anything else. the speed and the noise and the all that is awesome, but that's to be expected.
That dovetails beautifully with the next question, which is going fast on a top fuel motorcycle is one thing. Getting the big bike to a safe stop is another.
Yeah.
That's a whole different skill set.
Yeah.
Which is the hard part, going fast or getting it stopped?
Getting it stopped, that carbon brake is a huge change. The story I tell there is Dragbike 42 that year that the track's pretty short. Sam, Chris, Dave, and I are all going past the last turnoff and putting the front wheel in the beach, going like 215 to 230. Larry goes like 252 and stops 400 feet before the turnoff. And that's when everybody said, we got to get one of those carbon brakes. That helps a lot. But the biggest thing is the bike's under power to the finish line. And I tell people this, if you're a decent rider, I could probably put you on the bike, aim it straight, and get you to the finish line. But when you let off the throttle and everything unloads, when I first started riding this bike, when I would let off the throttle and put the chute out, I was actually floating forward in the seat. I'm in a 200 mile an hour headwind, and I can feel my butt moving out of the seat, and the tire is unloading. And so before the parachute comes out, sorry to be doing this dance, but the bike would dance around, and then when the parachute comes out, it really straightens and pulls the bike down. That's probably more hairy than getting to the finish line.
Mitch, Top Fuel Motorcycle has been an exciting element of motorcycle drag racing since its inception as an organized sport about 1967. What do you think is the key to bolstering the class participation now and in the future?
Yeah. So I feel like this weekend is a big turning point, and I thank you for coming to document it. We are probably and have been in a transition of maybe a changing of the guard. I don't know the right word, but I know Sam is probably close to the end of his career, if not at the end of his career. I know Larry's got plenty to do on his list and plans to do that, but we're going to lose the three kings of our sport that have been doing this for 40 years sometime in the next 10 years or less. And if we don't get some kind of new people involved, it's going to go away. So with Mac McAdams riding this weekend, my guy Dusty Warner that helps me that race Top Fuel Harley, we're scheduled to put him on the bike today to do the same thing. We want to just show people that it's not as hard as a lot of things. It's different. Mac's explanation was great.
Sure.
105, 60 foot. He's been way faster on other things, but it's different. But you can do it. Like, I know 100 drag bike guys that can do this, but it is a lot of money and a lot of time, and I think that's harder of finding people. We got some people interested. I think there was 3 people interested in buying the bike that Sam riding. That's great news for the sport. So also the technology, all the younger guys are riding the Pro Street bikes and the Grudge bikes, and that technology that they use is amazing. What we're using in Top Fuel, or what we have been using, is old technology. And to get these younger guys into it, they don't want to go back to mechanical fuel injection and timer boxes. They want to use all the wonderful technology that's available that we're starting to use, that Yaska uses. And that's the only way I see the sport continuing to grow, is if we continue to grow with the technology.
Hi, Mitch. Thank you very much. Tom McCarthy for Dragbike.com. Thank you.
Thanks.